Seren just bodied that white guy in seconds. I was not ready for that level of realness. It just took me.
America, which is literally a white supremacist country built on American chattel slavery and the genocide of Native Americans. Is there a conversation to be had about fucking white supremacists? It's a fucking offensive that you would even fix your mouth to say that to me, to be quite honest with you, as a fucking white person that has literally been given everything as both white and a man. To even look at me and fix your lips to talk about fucking victimhood is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, you don't even have permission to talk to me anymore in this panel.
Hey guys, it's Murad Marali. Hope you guys are all doing well today. So we have this particular episode of Grapevine, which is one of the best episodes yet. Very, very heated and also very engaging, which I've liked from so many different angles. That it was a bit diverse as well. You got some East Asians as well, some South Asians I think I saw, and obviously black, and then you got people, and then you got this particular white person. And this was a very interweaving conversation about what happened in Charlottesville, that white supremacist particular march that really shook the world. However, there was some logistics of it that people need to clarify, need to talk about, and I feel like this particular episode was amazing. We're going to get straight into the main storyline and the main base premise of this particular debate, and that is Seren. She came out guns blazing, and she put this white person down for what he actually is in terms of victimhood and so forth. There are a few mistakes, and I feel like because of social influence as well, he had to really understand and apprehend what he was talking about and where he came wrong, and I'm glad he apologized, but I feel like she just came true with the focal points of, you know, Native American genocide and, you know, slavery and so forth. As clearly America is a white supremacist country.
America, which is literally a white supremacist country built on American chattel slavery and the genocide of Native Americans. Is there a conversation to be had about fucking white supremacists?
I feel like it was a very great point that she meant in terms of socialization, that cures people are conditioned subconsciously or consciously, especially when they come out of the womb. It is very, very interesting to talk about.
All white people are fucking racist. They can learn, they can unlearn, but they are conditioned and socialized in a white supremacist country that tells them from the minute that they are born that they are better than everybody else and that they deserve everything. I don't care how great, amazing, wonderful their parents are, their family, their friends. At a certain point, they go out into the world, they read books, they listen to music, they watch television shows. Unless they're being raised like in the woods, like on some Nell type shit, they are being conditioned by our society to be racist, to be white supremacist. I don't make no distinctions.
Once again, we have Carl displaying forms of ignorance, but at the same time, even though he does display forms of ignorance, I feel like he is, you know, bringing in a different angle that we need to discuss when it comes to the I wouldn't say mystical, but there obviously the race war going on that the media is profiting from, and that they are obviously regurgitating it and emphasizing it far more than usual. And I feel like that is a particular very good point to make that he did. But at the same time, I feel like he is displaying forms of ignorance because he was very quick, very quick, and very keen to belittle Seren, you know, for feeling this form of, you know, black power and so forth in a world where, you know, it's consistently oppressed in every single form, shape or manner. So I do feel like he was very quick to do that, and that in itself, you know, forms a bit of ignorance. Here's a debate, you're not really listening. And then we had this particular conversation then in relation to the fact that if it was not a black person that died, if it was a black person that died in that car that ran over and it wasn't a white woman, then it wouldn't be heard. I would feel like it most definitely would have been heard, especially on social media apps like Twitter. But at the same time, somebody else, Brielle, made an important point that maybe if it was a black person, it wouldn't be plastered as much on media, because that black person that got beat up by those white supremacists, he's actually now being charged. Yes, I don't know if you guys have heard it, but that particular black person that got beaten up is being charged. For what reason, I don't know. It's stupid. I'm going to link those documents if I find them. I found that very interesting to read. But the white women's ladies and everything, they were, and the white ladies' parents and so forth were all on news and, you know, being interviewed. But, you know, the black person that got beaten up, he's disappeared and he's been charged. So there definitely is a structure that is ridiculous here that I feel like is very interesting. You know, and then we have Carl talking about, you know, maybe the white people that were marching weren't marching for white nationalism, weren't marching for white supremacy. Maybe they were just marching for their First Amendment for guns.
Take that narrative that they're
I agree.
But some people, so again, there are, I'm not saying that everyone who was there were no racists there, but I'm just saying there's a very strong possibility some white people were there strictly for their First Amendment rights. I mean, and the Second Amendment, I mean, not First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, their rights to bear arms.
So people. So I'm not trying to like be a conspiracy theorist, but I think you're giving them too much credit saying it's not only racist people. Like
a gun-owning state. Like if you go to any gun-owning state, I'm pretty sure you're gonna find caches of weapons everywhere.
No. Hey, Coach, there's too much strategy there. There's too much strategy.
Now, in terms of amendments in child, I'm even American, so I'm not going to jump into that nonsense, but I do feel like he was talking absolute garbage from his mouth, absolute rubbish, as we say here. Like, what are you talking about? People that are marching there, the fact that you're even trying to justify what was going on there clearly shows that your mindset needs to be somewhat amalgamated into something better, because as far as I'm concerned, that's very worrying and very concerning that you feel like you need to justify what was going on there at all. People might have been marching there for First Amendment. Like, do you justify people when it comes to a huge shootout? Do you justify people when it comes to a huge robbery? No, you don't. Like, I just find that very weird. The fact that you're trying to stop and think about, you know, who are the good people here, it's just absolute nonsense. There was a clear aim for this march, message for this march, clear flags, clear different types of salutes, what they were saying, you know, tiki torches and so forth. Everything was there to express particular aims and beliefs. And the fact they're trying to justify these people or justify their actions, means and thoughts, in my opinion, is very worrying. I do feel like, to counteract Doug's point, I feel like Jeff came in very well in relation to the fact that people can be complicit.
And to your point about white supremacy and it being a small minority of people who are actually acting on it, if you are robbing a bank and I'm the teller who helps you rob the bank and you pay me off and I don't call you in, I'm still complicit and you can call me a thief also. So all these white people who are benefiting from white supremacists, they are maybe level 1 of white supremacy because they're benefiting from it and they're complicit in it, as opposed to letting people on the front lines act on it. So when you say it's only a small amount acting, there's a large amount acting through inactions.
If you're not actively involved, it does not mean that you don't have a presence or that you're not involved in some form or manner, consciously or subconsciously. So I do feel like Jeff was kind of somewhat interweaving his point with Seren, and Seren kind of, you know, imploded with that use in relation to the fact that you don't have to be actively involved to be involved. You can still be complicit, and that robbery example was a perfect analogy that was used, and I feel like that was a very important point. But at the end of the day, Seren takes this with her arms. She did not even say one word in the first part of this episode, but the second part of the episode, she was literally going in every single manner. Yes, to an extent, I do honestly feel like she was a bit hostile. At the same time, she did back it up with a lot of very important, valid points that were able to instantaneously shut down this particular white person.
Number one, I think it must be really nice to be a white person and believe in the idea that being an individual magically makes you able to overcome the conditioning of your society, because that's not the way the conditioning works. That's not the way that socialization works. That's not the way that our society works, period. So there is no one in any type of marginalized group in this country that can pull themselves up by their bootstraps and magically remove themselves from our society's ills. Yes, do certain types of people have the opportunities that other people don't have? Of course, the Obamas. Perfect example of that. However, those are exceptions to the rule.
Right.
And it is ridiculous. I'm not finished.
My bad.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
I know you're white and a man, so you think you can talk, but you can okay?
After her, so you're gonna have to keep.
That is the exception. That is not the rule. And it is absurd, it's ridiculous to look at the people that do get out of marginalized groups and use them as some type of benchmark that you can hold all the rest of us to. If you look at the statistics of what's going on with black Americans in this country, it's absurd. It's a fucking offensive that you would even fix your mouth to say that to me, to be quite honest with you, as a fucking white person that has literally been given everything as both white and a man. To even look at me and fix your lips to talk about fucking victimhood is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, you don't even have permission to talk to me anymore in this panel.
We had no idea in terms of the fact that there are still a lot of racism going on. There's still a lot of, you know, genocide of Native Americans. You got slavery and so forth. You got socialization. You got conditioning, subconsciously or consciously and so forth, and different hierarchy and etc. etc. She completely obliterated that point. So I feel like she was most definitely going in. I wasn't ready for it, but she completely bodied him, and her answers were absolutely amazing. Like, I was somewhat waiting for her to say some particular stuff. And in the first episode, she was absolutely quiet, but the second one, she took it with her bare hands because she could. It just shows the impact that she has on the particular show. So hats off to you, Seren. I feel like you took this entire episode. I really am happy for you. I feel like you're very, very educated in this particular matter, and I feel like you definitely shut a lot of people down who did not expect it, and you fueled up a lot of people as well. But having watched Carl, I don't say he's completely useless. I feel like he also made a very good point in terms of gentrification and what's going on there. It's even going on in London, especially in places like Brixton and so forth. You know, there are black people who are being pushed out, and you know, the white people are here, and as prices are getting more expensive, this is gentrification at its finest, and it is quite worrying and so forth. And I do all feel like he made a good point about different people of colour, whether, you know, you're brown, whether you're East Asian, whether you're I don't know, just different colours. There are different forms of privilege that they can get as opposed to black people.
Is that the same incentive doesn't apply for, like she said, for Asians. Like, Asians are in the best position ever because they're getting all the perks that we get from equal opportunity. They're advanced right now more than East Asians right now advanced more than a typical white American right now. It's
So in my opinion, I feel like that even term, people of color, POC, I feel like that term personally for me kind of irritates me because I feel like it does marginalize the oppression that has happened to black people. Because for example, like when I read certain things are going on with black people, or certain things that are going on with POC or people of colour, I'm reading it, open the document, and I'm saying that as a black person. So I'm thinking, but somebody who would read that wouldn't think it's a black person, they would think it's somebody who's brown and so forth. So I feel like particular problems that have gone to black people are being marginalised, they're being underapprehended, underrepresented because they're seen as POC. They're just, and this box itself is just irritating because it puts everything in and it attempts to somewhat simplify it. So that term in itself irritates me because I feel like it just marginalises the oppression and struggle that black people have gone through and are still going through more so than everybody else. So I feel like that in itself is a bit irritating, but I do feel like Carl did make a very good point in terms of the fact that gentrification, and also in terms of the fact that different people of colour have different forms of privilege. So I feel like that in it is an angle and a viewpoint that people need to address and look at. But at the same time, my heart is beating, child. Seren came in, she finished everybody, she bodied everyone, she came, she slaved, and she left. It's simple as that. Simple as that. She came with the statistics, she came with the facts. If you want to ignore facts, you are therefore ignorant. So very important message. I'm here for this particular debate. It was very, very engaging. You know, the one thing I like about this particular Grapevine is that they like to split up the episodes, like episode 1, part 2, part 3. Ain't nobody got time to watch in 80 minutes. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I would like if it's all boxed up in just a one clip. But at the same time, if you're gonna keep having these heated, engaging conversations, I'm all for it. I feel like it's definitely great. It's amazing. I love intellectual information from all sides. I like how everybody interweaves. Very interesting. Thank you guys for watching my smaller review. Let me know what you guys think about particular people in the comment box below. Let me know just your thoughts, your views. People like the white guys, Seren, Doug, Carl. Let me know what you guys think. I did miss Donovan. I was like, where's Donovan at? Because this guy's just comes with the facts. But let me know what you guys think. Hit me up on my Instagram, my website. The deals are below. Thank you guys for watching. And I will most definitely catch you guys soon.